tuned for sports.
Keeping score with Jess and Dean, the Dream.
It is Sunday, March 10th, daylight saving. We lost an hour. How are you feeling?
I feel like I'm going to get that hour back at Mom's later. Little 10 on Sunday, then a nap somewhere. I'll be sawing wood by midday.
Good night.
She won't be happy with that.
Well, listen. I mean, you're a very busy person, and I mean, losing an hour of sleep. I mean, I know your Saturday nights get pretty exhausting. So
what?
Especially we're at the game late. Come on, that was
Good
a late
night.
start. Yeah,
Good night.
Yeah, good night. It was always a good night. So how was your week?
Good morning.
Yeah,
a good week. Good week.
No,
good week. I am officially. Yeah, I'm on vacation.
You're on vacation.
Yeah,
this is huge.
Yeah. I told you I was going through with it. 2 weeks a year now.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing one for 32 years, and I've decided I want a second week. And I figured I figured I would do it during March Madness because I enjoy that week, and I can just enjoy games and not have to be looking up at the TV while I got a full bar. It's going to be enjoyable to see. Hopefully, our Friars flourish in this tournament, but just college basketball in general, I love it. And of course, we're busy. We're going to be on the Rhode Show.
Yeah, we're going to be on the Rhode Show on Tuesday. It's WPRI 12. I don't know who's going to be our host. It could be Will. It could be Brendan. But we're going to be there at 9 o'clock, which we'll have to get there a little bit earlier. But whatever. We're going to talk about the Big East Tournament and hopefully good things to come for PC. It was basically a dare because you didn't think I could get us on the Road Show.
No, listen. You came through with flying colors. And I will say this. I hope Brendan is there because he's the Seinfeld aficionado. And I got a couple of trivia questions for him. So, I'm banking on that. That's important to me.
All right. If that's important to you, then maybe I should ask Brendan just to host the segment instead of Will because then it's going to be like weird. We're not going to get two segments. We only get one segment.
Okay.
So you got to choose. Do you want Will or do you want Brendan?
I feel terrible to say I prefer one or the other. I got to get my Seinfeld rep in. And if that's all I'm telling you.
All right.
That's all I'm telling you. I feel bad because I've met Will a bunch of times. Very nice guy. I've never met Brendan, but Seinfeld trumps all.
Okay.
So when it comes to the sign, I'm like, I got to.
You understand?
I've already had my questions mapped out for 2 months, even before you made this thing happen.
So what if Brendan gets these answers correct?
He's supposed to. He's got a cookbook out on Seinfeld. He should get it done. But if and listen, one's going to be kind of I'm going to roll one to him, and the other one's going to be sort of like a two-parter. So so it's going to be quick.
We do have to talk about sports at some point.
No, we're going to talk about the Big East Tournament. I'm assuming that's going to be the topic of the day.
All right, very good.
And hopefully, talk about the Friars. But there is Seinfeld. It's coming. It's coming down the pike.
If he gets it correct, we'll give him a sweatshirt. How about that?
Here we go.
Yay, hey, it's not a bad thing to have Brendan Kirby wearing the Score logo.
No. Yeah, he's got a great voice, by the way.
Yeah,
when I watch the show at my mother's, on volume 90, where you max out the V. He's terrific. I enjoy the show.
Max out the V. No, we're not talking about your last night. All right. So anyway, we got a lot to get to. I'm very excited. Towards the end of the show, we're going to talk about. I don't know how you did it. It's a surprise to me how you are watching the Dynasty on Max. I'm very surprised about this. But I think other than that, this jerk, Stephen Cunningham, is no longer going to be working for us.
All right, so we're still on YouTube today.
For today
and for the next few weeks, and then we'll see what the future holds. But for now, we're still on. Steve's not in the camera right now, but he's over here.
He is the
point
camera.
The finger, and I wish him the best. I mean, we're going to miss him, but you know what? Everybody has a life to live, and they have to be looking out for numero uno.
I'm just selfish, but we're going to celebrate at the Oaks Tavern on Saturday, March 23rd, right around 1 o'clock. We'll do our show.
That's his swan song.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. So that'll be it, and then he'll have to put the video together and he'll be like, I don't care, it's my last one. Screw him. So it's gonna be we're a little upset, but I mean we have a couple weeks left with him, so we're just gonna focus on the good times.
Yeah. live for the moment.
Yes, we're living for the moment, but we're screwed after he's gone. All right, so want to kick things off?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
What have you guys been told about Mac Jones's future with the Patriots, and have they even communicated any of that kind of stuff to you guys, the players?
No. I think they is keeping that between the front office, coaches, and staff. Like I said, I've been out since week 4. So that's difficult. But as we all know, like when Mac was comfortable and he had a good system, he produced and he put up numbers. When you said we scored 45-7
against Cleveland,
Mac Jones led that team, and so we know he can do it. We know he can do it. He has to find his confidence, his stride, and get a rhythm under him. It's going to be difficult. It's his fourth OC in 4 years.
Is he broken?
Nah.
Yeah. That's Matthew Judon talking about Mac Jones. I thought we had to play that clip just because I know we're not into much and the draft hasn't happened yet. But you said we're going quarterback, so say bye to Mac.
And I kind of remember every game, the good ones, the bad ones. Where's the 45-7?
I don't remember that.
W? Was that like one game, or was that the course of a... Was that the blue-gray game? I mean, what are we doing over here? I don't remember tooling anybody 45-7. But it's okay, Matthew.
Maybe he was multiplying
Matthew,
the numbers.
we missed you last year after week 4, but get healthy, but don't worry about what's going on offense, okay? And, yes, he is, as a Patriot, he is broken. And I get it, 4 coordinators in 4 years, but, no, it's over for Mac Jones.
In 2021, he threw 3 touchdowns. Lead the Patriots to, hold on, it's
they
loading.
Play?
By the way, we're on YouTube.
Will they play
the
Cranston
Browns.
West?
No, the Browns.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, you were at that game? Steve, the guy that's leaving us, was at that game.
Oh, wow.
And so that was probably the last time he scored that many points.
I honestly can't remember that game, okay? And obviously that was a bad Browns team, okay? But whatever. Listen, obviously the first year, 10-7, Mac was pretty good, and we thought that there was a path to having a 10-year quarterback.
Right.
And that's history now. I'm done. I've told you, between him and Zappy, the quarterback is not there. We're at 3. We're picking a quarterback at 3 if we're going to do our own little keep and score mock draft.
Yeah.
I'm not trading down to get a McCarthy or a Bo Nix. I'm taking one of those 3 quarterbacks at 3, and one of them will be there.
Someone's going to agree with you, and that's Bert. What's his last name? Breer.
You can say the third you're going to take a quarterback at 3, but you don't know which one's going to fall to you. So, I mean, I think to lock yourself in, you have to feel good about 2 of these kids at the very least. And I think they're getting there. Like, from what I've heard from from how the quarterbacks have performed in this meetings, it's all been really good. And so, Phil, I think that there's good options for them there. Again, like, this comes down to not just being comfortable with one of the non-Caleb Williams quarterbacks, but 2 of them. And it's a process getting there. So I haven't heard they're absolutely taking a quarterback at 3, but like, a lot of people who've been in those interview rooms over the last few nights feel really good about the top quarterbacks in the class.
So he agrees with us, and he's a professional, so I think we're on the right pace right track.
Albert Breer, he's terrific. I value what he says, and I really think that is the play at 3. And I'm assuming you hear so much about, like, Caleb Williams. I mean, could somebody slide up and Williams could slide down a couple of notches? Anything's possible right now. It's not a given on anything. But I believe when it's all said and done, Caleb Williams will go 1, and then as far as May or Daniels, they'll go 2 and 3 in any order. I'm not sure which one. It sounds to me like through the interview process, my sources are telling me that Jaden Daniels doesn't sound like he's itching to go to New England. He said all the right things. He said nice things.
Why.
He did mention Brady, referenced Brady in the history of New England. He said, the greatest of all time, all that. But it sounds to me like Drake May fits the mode a little bit more for what we're trying to do. And I think he would be the play at 3 for the Pats.
All right, very good. There are some questions that I had for you. One, we're going to talk about Duggar and what's a transition tag as opposed to a franchise. I saw a tag and I just assumed it was franchise tag.
That's okay. And I want to make the distinction here that a lot of times when you place the tag on a player, it's really actually similar. If you place a franchise tag on a player, that means that player, you keep him for a year. You're almost, I don't want to say holding him hostage.
Right. You
can work out a long-term deal, but you still own that player for a year. You can't hit free agency. But he has to be paid within the top 5 at that position. So in Kyle Duggar's situation here, they put the transition tag on him. So Duggar, if they had placed the franchise tag on him, he would have had to be paid top 5 at his position. He would have got 17.1. Okay. So they saved a little money here. They put the transition.
Oh, really?
They put the transition tag on him. So it makes him sort of a restricted free agent in this situation because he could still sign an offer sheet with another team. The Patriots have the right to match it. Okay. So that's the little bit of a distinction there, and the money goes down a little bit, so he's only has to be paid top 10 at his position.
Okay.
And right now he's going to get a 1-year deal right now for $13.8.
Oh, that's not bad.
So you're saving another $3 million. You can still work out a long-term deal at some point with him, and the only difference is he can negotiate, and somebody can sign him to an offer sheet. Right. So it's like in basketball, you're almost the equivalent of being a restricted free agent. Okay. So I'm okay with that. It's only been used 6 times in the last 15 years for players, so you don't see it that often, but the Patriots found a little bit of a way around it to try to keep a pretty good player on defense because the defense is.
You always mention him
the defense is pretty solid, and he's in that secondary now. Don't forget, you let Adrian Phillips go, so you got a little long in the tooth. So your secondary takes a little bit of a hit. McCourty retired the year before. You still got. I don't know if Jalen Mills will be back. He had moved him from corner to safety. So there's a lot that they can do with that defense. I'm okay. I think the defense is building, and I think they're going to be okay. Don't forget, Jess. With free agency and salary cap casualties on other teams, you look at the Buffalo Bills right now.
Yeah.
Shifting over. They signed the immortal Mitchell Trubisky back to bat. Well, he was there before backing up Josh Allen.
I didn't think he still played.
He's terrible. He was with Pittsburgh last year. He actually played the game. We beat them on Thursday Night Football when we were trying to lose games and we won. Okay? So, obviously, Mitchell goes back because he knows the system there, and he will back up Josh Allen, which is, basically what he is, hold the clipboard.
Yeah.
But the story of the week for Buffalo is they need to shave some salary because they cut 3 players, all Pro Bowl players. Mitchell Morse, their starting center, who's started over the past 5 or 6 years, like 75 games. He's a Pro Bowler. He got caught salary cap casualty, and those 2 kids in the secondary, Jordan Poyer and Tre'Davious White. White's had a couple of ACL injuries. Poyer's an All-Pro. They're good players. All 3 of those guys got pink slips. So those guys are going to be out there. I'm not saying the Patriots would sign because Poyer's probably still going to command a pretty good salary, but those guys are going to be out there. So some teams are making moves. We're going to talk about Russell Wilson, but Denver made a big move. They cut their number 1 safety, Justin Simmons, after 8 years. Terrific safety, one of the best in the league. He's going salary cap casualty. So there's some guys moving around. Russell Wilson will officially be cut on Wednesday after being told, talk to anybody. Basically what they're saying is do whatever you want. And this, and I know you are interested, as you told me over a couple of libations the other night.
I am maybe a PJ Spell, by the way, completely renovated.
Right. No, it looks beautiful, but I'm hoping that you have a different sentiment as we do this show here on 790 The Score, because I was just kind of taking you in stride the other night. I'm out on Russell.
Why?
I just think he's checked.
We could have Sierra, in the stands. Why? I think he's still got it.
All right, we'll throw her in the lighthouse, okay? Because
and he'll be cheap.
Russell,
we love cheap.
And you know what, Jess? I can't really argue with you much. The numbers were good this year. 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He managed that team. There was never a fit there. That whole thing with Sean Payton, it didn't work.
He hated him.
Denver's letting him go. They're going to take it. They're going to lose $85 million on just dead salary money, like that. They can't use that money to get other players. That's how bad they want him out.
Right.
I think he's done. They say he throws a nice deep ball. What would be your philosophy on bringing him in? What do you think that the Patriots get out of that? Like,
because
you bring him in for 2 years?
Well, yeah, not for a long time.
So you still draft the quarterback 3, and then you sit the quarterback for a year, and you play Russell for a year?
and then get rid of Mac completely. Yeah. So then he can learn. I mean, Russell Wilson, you can still learn from the guy. He still has some talent. He just wasn't getting. I think mentally he was messed up with Peyton. It just wasn't the right fit for him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a terrible quarterback. I think he can still run. He can definitely throw. I think that seems safer to me than getting someone new that's going to be thrown in the league, and we don't know if we're going to get a Johnny Manziel or if we're going to get, what's the other one that used to play for the Gators? Amen.
Tim Tebow.
You don't know what you're going to get. At least Russell Wilson, all right. Maybe he is getting a little old, but 2 years, I think we can handle him. I mean, we took Cam Newton. Like, why wouldn't we take this guy?
You're right. I don't know what it is, and I got a feeling I'm not in the locker room, but I don't know how good he is in the locker room. I don't know if he's the guy I want leading my troops out there. He was terrific in Seattle for a decade.
Yes.
And I just think that his time is come and gone. Some guys hit a wall at 32. Some guys hit a wall. Brady played till he was 45. It's amazing. But I think his definitely his best days are behind him. And I think if the team is going to be average to below average, he's not the guy for me. I don't have a good feel for him, and I think there's some fits for him. I could see the LV Raiders. He just looks like he could be a Raider. They're big on resurrections and reclamation projects.
Yeah.
Maybe Pittsburgh, I'm hearing, but they don't want to prove. They don't want to show that they're giving up on Kenny Pickett yet. He's only 2 years in, but I hope that I don't hope that you're wrong, but I don't want to see him in New England. I'd rather go 4-13 with even Jacoby Brissett, bring him back.
Oh,
for a
I do
year.
love Jacoby Brissett, but I just feel like Wilson's a
name.
We need a name.
Now you got to start doing this all over again. You sign him, then you got to cut him. Now you're going to have dead money on his. I don't know how the contract would work. He's going to get all his money from Denver.
Right.
There's rumors that he still can get a big payday out there. Like, I'm not paying him much. I'm bringing him in for dirt.
Exactly.
Or you don't play. I'm just saying. So there's rumors that I don't know how that works. If he signs with another team, does some team make up the difference of the contract? That's where it gets complicated. And the Albert Breers of the world figure that stuff out. But I'm out on Russell. But we'll see what happens. He's not coming to New England. So.
All right. Well, that was good chat.
Some good news for the Pats, so they're starting to put even the offense back together a little.
Which is a good player that I actually really like.
You liked him even when things were going bad. You said he should see the ball more. They didn't really have anybody to throw him the ball. So
yes, welcome back, Hunter Henry.
Yeah, 3 years, $27 million. He can make up to $30 million with some incentives. And here's a guy who I believe, and I told you this off here, that I believe he's, despite the record of the team the last few years, I think he likes New England, and I think he likes the system. He feels safe there and his family. And I think another 3 years for him. I think he had a nice little run in the red zone. He played well for the Patriots.
So just
got hurt a little near the end of last year. He's had a hard time in his Charger days of staying on the field, but
because he got the ball more.
I don't think he's the problem. Like you said, it's tough to get hurt when nobody's going near you.
You're just running.
You're not catching the ball. But no, it's nice to have I don't want to say a weapon. It's a guy you had already, but he wasn't the reason why they were 4-13 last year. So
not.
they definitely did a nice job to keep a couple of the guys on offense, the limited weapons that they have. You get him, you bring Stevenson back in the backfield. You got to put that offensive line back together and spend some money on that line. He's going to make 9 next year, so they've got a little over $100 million to spend. So
who we should get, and maybe now that I have a solid relationship with him, maybe I should call up Christian McCaffery and see if he wants to come play for us.
Big time in it because you were at the Oaks with him. I thought you were going to dwarf him, but he got a couple inches on you. Yeah.
I thought he was going to be like Braxton Berrios. I thought he was going to be a little guy. Like I didn't want to take a picture with Braxton because I would have looked like Gronk next to him as a female. And as soon as he walked in, I was just like, oh, he's taller than I thought, and like he's jacked. And then I felt very embarrassed to say, can I take a picture with you? But Olivia's like, she's like, I'll take the picture for you. Olivia Culpo, name dropping. And he was very nice. He was very down to earth.
Did you tell him you have a show?
Yes,
he knows
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, so I said, I have a sports show. And I was going to give him a sweatshirt, but then I was just like, forget it. I don't think he's going to wear a sweatshirt.
Jeans and a blazer in that picture for you.
Yeah.
For you.
I was wearing jeans and a blazer.
I don't know. You look like you had like a jacket. You had
I had a blazer on, and then I had a high shirt, and then they weren't jeans, but they were like, I don't know what to describe them. They're
slacks?
Called the jet pant. They're whatever. Anyway, the point is, we have a close relationship, and if you want to find out more, just visit our Instagram page, Keeping Score with Jess.
No, it was nice. I
was just like, I have to do it. It's Christian McCaffery, man. Like that's the greatest player in the league.
Now, obviously, he was at a party. You guys were at an event.
Oh yeah.
I got to ask you. I mean, you probably left him alone. You didn't get too personal.
No,
if you had the chance to ask him one question, what would have been the question? Obviously, football related.
Yeah, obviously, it had to be football related. Oh man. Did you want the ball more in the Super Bowl?
I mean, you touched it 30 times, my friend. But no, so my question probably would have been to him.
I really don't even have a question.
My question to him would have been, obviously, how exciting is it to play in the Super Bowl? Is that what you take out of it? The fact that, you take it all in, you played in the Super Bowl? Or right now, you feeling the disappointment of how close you were to winning?
I already knew that answer. That's why I would never ask, because they're mad. Like he's not over it, and Olivia's not over it, because I said congratulations to her, and so she goes, "What do you mean we lost?" I said, "I'm talking about your engagement. Like, I'm talking about you getting married." She goes, "Everyone keeps saying congratulations," and she's just like, "There's no congratulations. It's terrible." So I knew that I wasn't about to hit that.
Even Deebo Samuel made a comment the other day. He said something about like people don't realize how hard it is to get there, and then to get back there. They say that when you lose, oh, you know what? Like you'll get there again. Yeah. And he said it took 4 years. I think he's saying basically like we're blessed that like we were there 4 years ago and we're back here 4 years later. Some people don't get back ever again.
Of course.
Dan Marino. I mean, just saying, you never know when you're going to get another crack at the apple. But I'm just saying that's just going to be the greatest game of the year every year. It's in football is the Super Bowl, and he played in it, and he played well in it.
Yes, he did.
And he scored.
Nothing to be ashamed about.
Yeah.
Last thing, and that was obviously all sarcasm. The draft, free agency, March 13th. Is that what you were saying? All right. So is there anybody that we need to look towards, or anything that you want to talk about with that before we get to our sponsors?
Well, you got 2 months before the draft, and of course, like I said, I'm looking at quarterback at 3, and don't forget the Patriots pick at 34 and 68 and 104. So in the first 4 rounds, they got four decent picks in the first 100 change. At 34, I'm liking the fact that they could still maybe get a wide receiver. I'm liking the defense, what we have held over. So I'm looking at just putting that offense back together. You just re-signed your tight end. You draft a quarterback at 3, and I'm hoping I don't know who's going to be there, but I'm liking wide receiver at 34. Hoping that there's a kid, Adonai Mitchell, out of Texas. Okay, I think he was a transfer from Georgia actually, but he's terrific. Problem is they're saying now he's starting to. He had a good combine. He's moving up into that first round, so they may have to trade up to get him. But he'd be a guy I'd love if you could snag him at 34. That'd be nice. Now you got a quarterback. You got a quarterback for the future. catcher and a wide receiver that probably the receiver would play right away. Maybe the quarterback won't. I don't know. So there's a lot of ways that the Pats can go.
Though.
It is exciting. It's drafting, and like I said, you're only going to draft top 5 so many times. And I know it's hard to not see teams like San Fran with a Trey Lance, Jets with a Sam Darnold, and then follow it up with a Zach Wilson to prove that obviously you don't need to go quarterback top 5 because it could be bust city. You just don't know. It's not an exact science, but you have to believe, and you said this last week, you have to believe that the guy you're drafting is going to be the guy. Like you said, or you wouldn't draft him. But no, it's a quarterback league and you need a quarterback. End of story.
Right. All right, very good. Well, with that end, we're going to thank our sponsors. How about that?
Okay.
Keeping score with Jess and Dean the Dream, sponsored by
Generations Adult Day Health Center. Generations is a day facility in Smithfield that provides services to meet the needs of adults with disabilities and the elderly. Their staff provides a range of adult day health services, such as case management, nursing, healthcare, nutrition, and more. At Generations, you're taken care of with registered nurses, certified nursing assistants, and plenty of direct care support staff on the floors at all times. With nearly 30,000 square feet of space, the state-of-the-art facility includes an open dining room, spacious physical and occupational therapy suites, a fully equipped gym and exercise room, and a TV movie theater, just to name a few. To find out more, visit generationsri.com. That's generationsri.com. Prout Mechanical in Providence, a family-owned and operated business. They provide HVAC installations, replacements, and maintenance services. They also offer indoor quality services to make sure that your home remains healthy and safe. They have licensed and trained technicians to keep up with industry standards and technology. They're also an authorized Mitsubishi Electric Diamond Elite contractor, so they can provide the best heating and cooling solutions. So get in touch with them today. Visit ProutHVAC.com. That's ProutHVAC.com, or call them at 487-4343 for a free estimate. It's the hidden gem in the historic district of East Greenwich, the Oaks Tavern on Duke Street, a laid-back, welcoming atmosphere with some of the lowest drink prices in town. Described as a grade A dive bar, complete with free pool, a jukebox, air hockey, and a great place to meet after work. It's a place where the staff treats everyone like regulars, and regulars treat you like family. Visit the last hometown tavern in East Greenwich. Check out the Oaks Tavern, serving cold beer since 1896.
Why have a Drew Holiday or Porzingis or Derek White if we're going to just break it down to ISO basketball at the end of each game? This is what happened to them last year in the playoffs when they ran into a team like Miami. That's the biggest issue I have with the Celtics right now is how are they going to close games in the crunch time in the playoffs? Is it just going to come down to a Tatum-Brown show? Because Tatum right now is 33% in the clutch. He's one of actually, we talking about premier players in the league. He's one of the worst in the crunch. Can't always just be ISO play. My favorite games with Tatum is not when he has 40. It's when he has 26 and 8 assists and 7 rebounds, and he's playing like a real superstar, and that's getting the win playing through his teammates because they have the best supporting cast in basketball.
There's no doubt that they do, and I know we said it earlier, and I said we're too hard on them, but you lose to the Cavs, which is unacceptable, and then you lose to the Nuggets, which you could have won. And then Jason Tatum didn't step up. He's not stepping up. I don't understand what the problem is. First of all, with the Cavs, you're up by 22 points, and I know you just probably were just like coasting through. You just thought you were going to win. But the fact that he said he didn't want to hijack at the end of the game, I don't have the audio from that. Yeah. He didn't want to hijack the game because other people were having a better game than who, as a leader on the team, why would you even say that word?
Didn't you just play a clip 2 weeks ago that he said he's the best player in the world? Score. Right. Score late and win games. Although I will say this, in that Cleveland game, no excuse to blow a 22-point lead with 9 minutes, okay?
Yes.
No Donovan Mitchell in that game. The Spider was out. Dean Wade, my namesake, and everyone's going to say, who? Kid out of Kansas.
Dwayne Wade?
Dean Wade out of Kansas State. He's a fringe NBA player. 18 of his 21 in the fourth quarter. He was dominant. He was hitting threes everywhere in that game. The Celtics allowed it. But Jason Tatum did come down with less than seconds left, okay? Takes a fadeaway, gets fouled.
Yep.
This is the second time the Celtics have been fleeced by the officials. They went to the monitor, called a foul on Darius Garland. They took the foul off the board, okay? They called it a jump ball. Now, there was only 0.7 of a second left. You got to go to mid-court now. They called it a jump ball for some reason. They couldn't tell who even gets the ball, so we didn't even get to inbound it from the sideline. I don't know how that call happened because they called it dead. So they made it. So by the time they jumped the ball up, Derek White gets the tap, and the game ended, and the clock ran before the ball was even in White's hands. It was like the officials wanted to get out of there. It's just in a hometown, clock guy, too.
Right.
So it just seemed like they didn't get a break there, but it seems like Tatum has come up short late in games. And it carried into.
That was me choking.
Oh, it's aggressive right there. Hopefully not for real.
No,
but the Celtics took it into Denver, the team that gave the Celtics their first home loss earlier in the season. Celtics had a chance at redemption on Thursday night. They lose 115-109 to the Joker. Joker had, of course, another triple-double, 34 and a lot of other stuff.
He's outrageous.
He was throwing lobs to Aaron Gordon for dunks. But Jaylen Brown, 41 in this game, but, of course, couldn't make any free throws when it mattered. And, of course, you heard the sound just now, and you're talking about, you're telling me there's a problem on this team when you got studs everywhere, and they're worried about who's going to take shots late. You've got options. Yeah. Porzingis, I think you go to the matchup. The guy who's 7'3", and nobody has an answer for him. Give him more touches.
He was nailing threes the other night against the Nuggets.
But you can throw him down on the interior. Who's guarding him? He just shoots right over you.
Yeah.
I mean, he can play both sides of it. So
I
mean,
agree.
there's just it's just disappointing.
There has to be a reason.
We keep saying that we're tough on this team at 48-14, but some of these losses just make me wonder if especially Jason, if Jason's got the it factor, that killer instinct, and right now I'm not seeing it. And by the way, another thing, I know I'm being nitpicky, but Denver won this game actually, even though Joker does his thing with 34, triple-double. But it was the bench, and I've been telling you all year, the bench is a little weak. You were outscored 28-10 by Denver's bench. So there's an 18-point difference. You take that and the free throws, and there's your ball game. The Celtics dropped to 48-14, but I mean, not to be ashamed of running away with the Eastern Conference. But I'm thinking big picture, and I'm not feeling really good about winning the whole, hoisting that O'Brien trophy.
I agree. And even, Derek White kind of had an off game too, because, normally you can count on him for extra points. Horford off the bench, and like you said, they did nothing. They were just silent, and that you said that was going to be a problem perhaps later in the year. So, there it is.
I did get to see the X-Man. Xavier Tillman got 13 minutes off the bench and had, he only had 2 points, but he was a factor. Problem is, I told you, he's undersized. He's an elite defender, but because of his girth, they've got him playing like centers. He's only like 6'7", 6'8". You got Joker at 6'11". He's just like backing you in and going right over you. But
cinder block.
So, and Tillman seems to be getting into that rotation. He got minutes over Cornette the other night, who didn't play, coach's decision. So, Celtics have to regroup. I think they'll be okay. But you're still worried. No, you think about the East right now. You've got Milwaukee, who's playing better now. They got blown out by Curry and Golden State the other night, but overall they've been playing better. They're probably the only team right now with, you got Cleveland and the Knicks with a ton of injuries. So, the East looks pretty good. And obviously in the West, everyone's going to beat each other up. You get to the finals, you only have to play one team. So it's there for the Celtics. There's no excuses. They can only beat themselves. And, the last couple of games they did that.
I only feel comfortable with them going into the last minute up 15 points, because I think if there's any last shot opportunity, there will be no timeout called to actually draw up a play, and then everyone's just going to be like, you take it. Sometimes I think Tatum, like at least last night, I think he is not, maybe he is insecure about something, but like he's making plays that he normally wouldn't make. Like if he was hotter during the game and he already had 30-something points, he would have taken a shot or he wouldn't have made an extra pass. Like I think they're too in their own heads, and I don't think Tatum and Brown work well together. It's either Tatum or Brown. It's not Tatum and Brown.
But the first part of what you said about no timeout, that's on Joe. That's
no,
coaching.
I know.
So it's not just the players.
Right. That's a problem
players
too.
have to execute. But yeah, I think there's some validity to what you're saying there. But again, you got to find ways to close games out. And I'm not, even like I said, they've closed it out 48 times. But again, a lot of these games they're just so talented, they're blowing teams out.
Right.
I'm worried about the close games. It's just like baseball when I used to say, oh, look at this team's offense for 162 games they're scoring. It looks like the Yankees look like they score 10 runs a game. You get to the postseason, you're going to have to learn to win games 3-2. You're not scoring 10 runs a game in the postseason.
You're playing better teams.
So when you get to the NBA, playoffs, it gets a lot more magnified, and the defenses are different, and they throw, you face an Eric Spoelstra, it's elimination city again. So you just got to be careful.
All right, do you want to talk about Luka a little bit? He's doing okay, right? That's your other guy.
Yeah, Luka's just, obviously they lost a few games, but in the last 3, they finally got off the schneid versus Miami the other night. It's his 4th straight triple-double. Okay, that's impressive. How about his 4th straight triple-double where he scored 35 or more in those triple-doubles?
That's crazy.
He has been off the charts. Watch out for Dallas. They can make a run. They got some young pieces that they got in some trades. They got rid of Grant Williams. I like what the Mavs are doing under Jason Kidd. They're a team to look out for. And the Minnesota Timberwolves having a great year. Got some bad news the other day when Karl Anthony Towns, a.k.a. Cat, he's having meniscus surgery. He's going to be out a month. They're hoping to get him back. He's having a good year. He's averaging like 22 a game. And I don't know if you or Steve, you guys are going to Google this from Thursday night. If you see the footage off of Minnesota, they were up 2 points with like 5 seconds left, and Minnesota took the ball the length of the court. Halliburton threw it to former Celtic swingman Aaron Neesmith. And all of a sudden, Anthony Edwards went from one end of the court to the other. And when I'm talking about this, made you think of the LeBron block against Golden State like 8 years ago, where he pinned it.
Yep,
and
right against the board.
He got up so high, his head hit the rim, and he blocked the shot. It would have tied the game and went overtime. He blocked the shot, and it was incredible. You have to see it. The moral of the story is Minnesota's tied for first in the Western Conference with the Nuggets. They're up there, so having a great year. They've been a surprise. So that's a nice story to look at down the stretch. They're gonna have to weather the storm without Karl Anthony Towns for a month.
Well, I mean that works for us if he doesn't get better for the playoffs.
Well, speaking of not getting better, Ben Simmons, who's allergic to playing, was shut down for the season for the Nets. Yeah. He makes about $27 million a year,
no, he
and
doesn't.
He's on the hook for another. The Nets.
He's never played.
Nets have to pay him another $27 next year. It's the last year of his contract. It's a shame that you see a kid like this. I even wonder. I'm not saying he's fudging it, but this guy's he was a dog when he was in Philly. He's just collecting a paycheck.
Oh wow,
it's terrible.
Yeah, I did see that, but I didn't know he was getting paid that much money. I thought he was kind of irrelevant now. No?
He is.
Okay.
He's definitely irrelevant. Speaking of relevant, though,
who?
My final NBA piece, former PC star Chris Dunn, who's resurrected and had a nice little run with the Utah Jazz.
All right.
I'm going to take things from the court to off the court. Okay. Sources tell me now he's in Utah now playing, so he's out in Mormon country.
Oh boy.
But my sources tell me a friend of mine who was bidding on a house in Cranston says he got outbidded by Chris Dunn for a house in Cranston. So it looks like he's setting some roots here locally.
Oh, I like that.
Weston Cranston, I heard.
Ooh, yeah, a neighbor perhaps.
He purchased the house for $1.4 million.
Not a neighbor. In fact, nope, that's not Amy. Wrong Western Cranston. We're getting a new roof, everybody, by the way, so we're really excited about that. That'll be cool, though.
So Chris Dunn purchased the house. My friend was in on it. I won't give up my source, but he was in on the house, and he said Chris Dunn got the house for $1.4 million. He didn't even know that he was still in the NBA. I said, he's still playing. He's playing for the Jazz. He actually had 11 points and 5 assists.
Good.
He had 11 points and 5 assists the other night. So, and by the way, one of my old loyal listeners who's back on board with us now.
Oh, geez, would you piss him off?
A friend of mine, John Gazzero, he always likes to give little comments. He said, I'm getting back into the swing of things, listening to you guys.
Yeah.
He goes, and he always gives a little bit of a dig.
Yes.
And I just want to let you know, he said basically, he goes, I really don't care about Jess's chimney. He goes, or your new knife set.
We're looking for endorsements. Tell him to shut up. Listen, if I can get a free chimney out of it, or if we can get some free knife sets to Lou Cuisinart, tell him, get in the biz. Learn the lingo, bro. Are you done?
Done.
How disappointing is it to have to deal with this?
Yeah, extremely disappointing. I've always prided myself on posting, staying healthy. I've done everything in my power to do so. I haven't dealt with a serious injury in a very long time, so definitely sucks a lot.
Does what you know now lead you to be optimistic about your availability for this year, or are you still waiting and seeing?
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out the next steps of everything. Obviously, it's early and stuff's happening in real time, so yeah, we're working through all that right now.
All right, so that's Gio talking about his injury. I mean, I do feel bad for you guys because it seemed like that was one of the people that you really kind of were looking forward to.
Having a hard time keeping a straight face, I noticed.
I mean, I feel so bad.
This is not funny, actually. This one really hurts because, obviously on paper the team doesn't look like they were going anywhere anyways.
Yeah.
But this was their free agent signing, and he had a terrible 2023. But the good thing about Lucas Giolito was that he takes the ball every 5 days and makes 30 starts every year. Now you got to wonder, did he get through the physical? Was he already hurting? Because this guy's durable. He never gets hurt.
Yeah.
Even though he did have a Tommy John in 2012 when he was drafted by the Washington Nationals. He's been healthy. He's had a good career, coming off a bad year. So now you're paying for this. You're paying a 2-year deal for almost $40 million for this guy who's not going to pitch this year. And the funny thing is, he had an opt-out after 1 year, which means if he had a good year, he could have hit the market again. Obviously, with this injury, he's staying.
No,
he'll opt in because he knows he's getting the cheddar.
Maybe he can live with Dunn.
It's a lot right here. But no, it doesn't bode well for the Red Sox, as we start to look ahead to opening day, and he was potentially going to be your opening day starter this year because he was the veteran brought in to give them some veteran leadership in that rotation. So it's disappointing, and I know we joke a lot, but this one's a tough one for the Red Sox. That's one where you don't blame Corey, you don't blame the front office again, unless they knew that maybe this guy was hurt when they got him and they pushed it through. Because it does seem odd, a guy that's always healthy and takes the ball every 5 days for the last 5 or 6 years, all of a sudden comes to spring training and blows it out. They're talking about a second opinion. He's going to Tennessee or something. He's done. He's done. And by the way, he won't be healthy for the beginning of 25 either. Yeah, because they're calling it the UCL. If he has the operation, it's like a Tommy John. You're missing a year.
Right.
If you put a Band-Aid on, you could do it could be a 6-month thing. But in my opinion, it's like if you think you're going more times than not, it ends up in surgery. Just get the surgery done.
The surgery. My question is, you obviously, what's the rehab on that? Like, it's pretty much you just do nothing, right?
For a while,
like
you do
a long
nothing
time.
and you work on your body, but you can't do anything with your arm for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And then you start to a soft toss and a little throwing program and just flexing the muscles. But it's that's like a 9 months is minimum. But you're looking at 12 to 14
That's
months.
terrible.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've never really played a professional sport before, but to have a major surgery like that and then have to go back out there would totally be in my head. Like, be like, oh yeah, I'm fine. But I'd always have that in the back of my head, like something could snap at any time.
Yeah, it's tough. So obviously the Red Sox tried to give the fans a little bit of good news, a player that they already had there, but a young pitcher. Brian Bayo did sign an extension with the Red Sox. He may be the opening day starter now. They're buying out those years where they don't have to pay him right now, but they're buying out those early years to make it up, figuring down the road. If he pans out, they're going to save some money, and it's security for Brian Bayo. He gets a 6-year, $55 million extension. He was 12-11 last year in
he was 12-11
in 2023.
I know he was better than that.
He was like he hit the wall a little near the end of the year, but he was like, I think he was 12-8, lost his last 3, but he took the ball. Everyone's comparing him to Pedro Martinez. People have to pump the brakes. He's not Pedro. Little Pedro. He's got a great changeup, nice slider. He's working on some pitches, but they're figuring he's the guy that they want to keep, and they're still working on an extension with Christian Cassis too, trying to keep him long term, buying out those years, with the painted nails.
Yeah, well, listen, get off his painted nails. He has painted nails, and you don't have to mention it every single time. The guy paints his nails. We're just gonna have to move on. Like, you don't have to mention it every time. He did pretty good for you. Last season, second half.
You were playing sound early in the air. He was grunting after a walk.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, but he paints his nails. Whatever. All right. So, do you want to go around the league in baseball?
Yeah,
we're going to cover the American League for today, and we're going to start with what you think of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, Jess, you know how it is with the Rays. It's Kevin Cash, and he's trying to find a way to matriculate and navigate through a season with limited resources. They don't spend money. They finally spent money on a player, the Juan DeFranco, the kid they gave $200 million to. He's in the Dominican Republic right now over that accusation of sexual assault with the minors and stuff.
Yes.
You may never see him again. That was the guy they finally decided to pay someone, and it backfired on them. They traded Tyler Glasnow to the Dodgers.
Yep.
And so they're shedding payroll. There's a team, but you know what? I guess the most Kevin Cash is always going to have his team in the hunt. Look for them to drop a little this year and be in the middle of that AL East, which is going to be really, really strong. I don't think they're going to be at the top. I don't know how he's even done it with smoke and mirrors over the last few years, but I think it definitely catches up with them. And Cash does a tremendous job, but it's going to be a tough year in the AL East for them.
Yeah, but wasn't it last year that their record was outstanding in the beginning of the season? Was that the Rays or was that somebody else?
It was, and then the year before they won 100. But it was Baltimore that kind of made the jump last year, and Tampa kind of came back to the pack. They were sort of, they were in second. They were battling with the Orioles. I think they moved down a little bit this year. I don't see them cracking 90 wins. It's going to be tough.
Do you see the Yankees cracking 90 wins?
I do.
Because I would like that. All right,
yeah,
good.
I do.
Although
I do. So obviously Godson picked the Yankees in the AL East, a very competitive division, probably the best division in baseball. I like the Yankees because of the addition of Juan Soto. You've got an elite power hitter who's led the National League in walks the last 3 years, and people will say to me, well, he only hit 275 last year. Yeah, but 30 homers, 100 RBIs, and his OPP is over 400 every year. He's an on-base machine. You take his ability to get walks along with Aaron Judge, you put them as a 1-2 punch in the middle of that lineup, and that's devastating. You got pitchers that are not going to last more than 4 or 5 innings because you're putting up 10 pitch at bats. So I think the addition of Juan Soto, if they can sign him, it's a great deal going forward for the Yankees. Of course, it's all about pitching. They need a big bounce back here from Carlos Rodon. You're going to get Garrett Cole, at least during the regular season, to do his job.
Definitely not post.
But Rodon, they're already saying the velocity's down in spring training. He gave up a couple of dingers the other day. Maybe he's working on some stuff, but he was hurt last year, and when he was healthy, he was ineffective. So they need him to come back and bounce back in that rotation. Don't forget, you still got chances with free agency. Blake Snell's still out there looking for a big contract. Boris, I don't know what he's doing with his clients right now. He's overplaying his hand because it's almost the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Snell's not on a roster, and he's looking for $200 million. Maybe if the price comes down, the Yankees get him for a little bit less than that. So keep your eye out on that. The Yankees could still land a big arm for that rotation.
The Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, the Orioles won 101 games last year, and I'm saying to myself, I checked the Vegas line the other day, and I don't usually do that, but they've got them down.
That's what I usually do.
Oh, wow. They've got them down around like 89 wins, and I'm saying, wait a minute, they won 101 last year, and they just added Corbin Burns to that rotation from the Milwaukee Brewers, a number one pitcher to go with that nice young team. And I'm saying to myself, how are they at 89? I think that's because the division's so good. They're going to beat each other up, and I think maybe they see them taking a little bit of a step back. I love the kid, as Godson said last week, the kid Jackson Holiday. Godson picked him as his rookie of the year. I think it's a great pick. I think the reason why I don't agree with it is because he may not be the shortstop from Jump Street. They got the kid Gunnar Henderson over there who may get moved to third. With
a name like Gunnar, you have to be
when
good.
Holiday's ready, Henderson's going to move to third. So they got great young players with Adley Rushman behind the plate. He's the next Johnny Bench in my eyes. Terrific catcher. So I still like the Orioles, and I love the addition of Corbin Burns. I'm a little surprised they're down that far in the AL East, but we'll see how it all plays out. I still say look out for Baltimore. I like their ball club.
Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, to me, Jess, it's just like, to me, they just keep middling. You know, it's like, Guerrero Jr. took a little step back. Bichette had a pretty good year, and I've been telling you this for a month now. With the addition of Justin Turner, I think he brings some veteran leadership to that locker room. I think they'll be in the hunt for a wild card, but I think it's all about that starting pitching, and Jose Barrios has got to have a better year. He's had a couple of off years for Toronto, and they gave him a big $130 million extension when he came over from Minnesota. So, look for Toronto to be right in the hunt, but they're not a team that really scares me. Like I said, the division's really, really tough.
Do you find it to be, for baseball at least, older people, players to be better for the team as opposed to any other sport? Like, do you feel like out of all the sports, I mean,
yes.
Definitely not football, but...
Yes.
Okay.
Because obviously me being a baseball guy, if you're on a team, you're part of it. It's that locker room. I think it's different in the other sports. I think baseball is just it's a different type of camaraderie. It is, and I believe that guy like a Turner, 38 years old, he had his career high 96 RBIs with the Red Sox last year. He can still get it done on the field. He's going to help them out as a corner infielder and probably their full-time DH. So I think it's a nice move for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Better with experience.
Yeah.
And finally, your Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously we joke, but there's still some young talent on this team, and it's starting to come around. And a kid like Marcelo Mayer may come up this year, he may not. Look out for the kid Rafaela in center field. He could get the nod. Jaron Duran's already hurt, so they've got a couple of injuries. The kid Vaughn Grissom, who came over in the Chris Sale deal, he's already hurt with a hamstring injury, so he's not going to start the season at second base. So, they got to get some guys back. I still, like I said, Bayo in the rotation now. He's locked up financially, so he can concentrate on pitching. There's still some talent there. We joke. It's just the AL East is so strong. The experts have got them around 79 wins, and I believe that this is not going to end good as far as the Alex Cora situation. He's out there.
Oh, no.
He's out there as a sacrificial lamb without an extension, and I believe he's probably either going to walk away at the end of the year or he may not even make the season.
I'm saying he's not going to make it through the season.
Yeah.
Like, I think he is going to start, and then I think he's going to leave.
And by the way,
he
Jess,
looks like he is not a happy man.
As we close out the AL East, I just want to say I'm done picking on the guys like Breslow and calling him Bloom Jr. I apologize because now I'm starting to see now.
Nice.
Well, because this is all. You know why?
Why?
This is all John Henry. He does not want to invest in this team. He's got the Pittsburgh Penguins and Liverpool. Just sell the team if you're not going to upgrade the roster and spend the money. You're making money. You're still charging $50 to park, $11 for suds,
Yes.
$7 for a bottle of water.
Which you're not even invited to opening day anymore. I am. So.
What?
I got the text. I got the invite, but I can't go. I got to work.
Well,
so
he did ask me, and I do have I have plans.
Oh,
like when
because it's a Tuesday.
Like when Mrs. Costanza says about when Mrs. Seinfeld didn't want to go out with the Costanza, she's like, we have plans. And then Jerry goes, what plans? We don't have plans. We just don't want to go out this. We don't like the Costanzas. And then the father goes, we can't stand them.
Oh, that's a lower pitch. All right, we got to keep moving because we only got 17 minutes left. AL Central, do you want to do that? Are we doing the whole league? Okay,
real
go.
quick.
Yep.
Every year it's been like, Cleveland, Minnesota. Baldelli's team, they're in the hunt. They win the division. Francona retired, so Stephen Vogt's going to get the job now in Cleveland. But they have limited resources. Other than Ramirez at third base, they don't spend a lot of money. I think this year, and I like Godson, he went a little bit out on a limb with Detroit, picking them to win the division under A.J. Hinch.
Yep.
I think they're going to be okay. I don't know about winning that division. The team that I really like in that division, not saying they're going to win it, but I like Kansas City Royals to make a jump this year. They signed Bobby.
That's a big jump.
They signed Bobby Witt Jr. to an 11-year, $288 million extension. He's the franchise. Power, stolen bases, shortstop, can do it all. But I like some of the veteran moves they made. They brought in a couple of ex-Red Soxers. Hunter Renfroe, who had 30 homers for the Red Sox a couple of years ago. Veteran. Michael Wacha for the rotation, a guy who can win 15. Waka. He can win 15 games. I like some of the veteran moves that the Royals made, and I know that's a jump because they've been picked to finish last this year. So
Second to left, White Sox.
Yeah, and of course the White Sox, their direction, they're sort of like, they picked up Benintendi last year for $75 million. He didn't hit with any pop. That team, I could see that getting flipped. I think the Royals, my declaration in that division is the Royals don't finish last.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
quite the stance you have. And do you want to go to the AL
I do.
West? We want to start with the Rangers. How do you feel about them?
Yeah, I'm a little perplexed that everyone's not picking against them, but to see them, they won the World Series under Bruce Bochy last year. They didn't re-sign Jordan Montgomery, who's still out there as a free agent left-handed pitcher, but I still think that they're a formidable team with Corey Seager and Trevor Simeon up the middle. They got, great second base.
Any relation
shortstop.
to Bob Seager?
No.
Okay.
Well, he's related to Kyle Seager, who was a third baseman for Seattle for 10 years. He just retired. They were brothers.
Bob
but
Seager.
no, so I mean,
Turn the page.
I think Texas is not getting much run here. You look out for them because they got the manager who's worth 10 wins right there. But it looks like that division right now, Oakland should be, they should be in the interscholastic when the high schools. All right, so I mean, they're the JUCO team right now. I don't even want to get into the A's. Not worth it. We only got 17 minutes left. But Seattle Mariners, I think Godson's picking them to go to the World Series. I like that pick. I'm not saying I agree with it. I just like the fact that he's on Seattle this year. I think that they're coming up. They're going to give the Houston Astros a run in the AL West. The Astros every year they find a way to get in there. With Altuve and Bregman and Yordan Alvarez. And don't forget they spent $95 million on a closer. They bring in Josh Hader, the lefty from the San Diego Padres, who throws smoke. Ryan Presley moves into the 8th inning role as the setup guy. So I love their bullpen. Verlander getting a little long in the tooth, and will begin the season on the injured list with a shoulder injury. So keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
I just never rule the Astros out. That's going to be interesting there. And of course, Anaheim still got Mike Trout. They did lose Ohtani. Trout has a hard time staying on the field. He's missed about 45 to 50% of the games the last 5 years. He can't stay on the field. With no Ohtani, I don't see how Ron Washington, in his probably final crack as a manager, can do much with that team. Expect them to finish down closer to Oakland than the top.
You can't imagine not showing up to work 50% of the time and still get paid. Like if I showed up to work twice a week and then I'm just like, well, I'm still getting all my money, so why am I going to show up? That's just an amazing thing to me.
Yeah.
And this makes it wild. All right, so that is the review of the American League, MLB. So we're going to do National League next week.
Yes.
We got about 13 minutes left. Let's thank our wonderful sponsors.
Keeping score with Jess and Dean the Dream, sponsored by
Generations Adult Day Health Center. Generations is a day facility in Smithfield that provides services to meet the needs of adults with disabilities and the elderly. Their staff provides a range of adult day health services, such as case management, nursing, healthcare, nutrition, and more. At Generations, you're taken care of with registered nurses, certified nursing assistants, and plenty of direct care support staff on the floors at all times. With nearly 30,000 square feet of space, the state-of-the-art facility includes an open dining room, spacious physical and occupational therapy suites, a fully equipped gym and exercise room, and a TV movie theater, just to name a few. To find out more, visit generationsri.com. That's generationsri.com. Prout Mechanical in Providence, a family-owned and operated business. They provide HVAC installations, replacements, and maintenance services. They also offer indoor quality services to make sure that your home remains healthy and safe. They have licensed and trained technicians to keep up with industry standards and technology. They're also an authorized Mitsubishi Electric Diamond Elite contractor, so they can provide the best heating and cooling solutions. So get in touch with them today. Visit ProutHVAC.com. That's ProutHVAC.com, or call them at 487-4343 for a free estimate. It's the hidden gem in the historic district of East Greenwich, the Oaks Tavern on Duke Street, a laid-back, welcoming atmosphere with some of the lowest drink prices in town. Described as a grade A dive bar, complete with free pool, a jukebox, air hockey, and a great place to meet after work. is a place where the staff treats everyone like regulars, and regulars treat you like family. Visit the Last Hometown Tavern in East Greenwich. Check out the Oaks Tavern, serving cold beer since 1896.
Around Frederick, drop pass into the slot. Bouchard, McDavid, around McAvoy, and Draisaitl scores on a one-timer. The Edmonton Oilers come back down with a minute and a half to go in regulation.
Minute and a half. Sounds like me on Wednesday night.
Suffice to say, Jack Edwards is on the back nine, all right? He's very passionate, but he's struggling a little bit, okay? But listen, the Bruins let one get away against the Oilers. I've been talking about Connor McDavid and Draisaitl and all those guys, Draisaitl, whatever his name is, Leon Draisaitl. That's his name, Draisaitl.
Draisaitl.
That's aggressive.
That was like a very moist saddle.
That's too much. All right, come on, we got a blast here.
Go.
Listen, so the Bruins did make a trade on Friday, picking up this guy's in the Stanley Cup Finals with regularity. From the Minnesota Wild, they pick up veteran Pat Maroon, not Maroon 5.
Oh,
okay, so
good one.
Pat Maroon comes over. He's a veteran, 35 years old, coming off back surgery. He'll be back late March. It's okay. This is a good move for the Bruins. They didn't give up much here. This guy's 2 Stanley Cups with the Lightning, and I believe he was on the St. Louis Blues also. So this guy's,
St. Louis is good.
He finds his way into the postseason, and he's physical. Bruins need
Obviously, he has a broken back.
Bruins need physicality, and this is the guy that's going to help. Believe me, and I'm telling you, I think there's some issues. I think Edwards has actually had a problem with him in the past, so we're going to see how that all plays out. I know he's just a broadcaster, but he may want to have a little security detail. I guess he's been tough on Maroon in the past, I guess, saying some things. Maybe he's got the reputation of being, I don't want to say dirty, but they're saying he's the next Sean Thornton for the Bruins, who used to be
worse than Marchand?
Perennial fighter. This guy was like kind of a tough guy. He's an enforcer, but this guy can help you and he can put the puck in the net too. So good move for the Bruins. They got a little bit physical here at the deadline, and they needed it.
All right, very good. Let's get to birthdays. It is Sunday, March 10th. We lost an hour of sleep, but we're getting through it.
Yeah.
Who do we got today?
I'll get it back later, but for now, Mike Timlin is 58.
Oh, I remember Mike Timlin.
Former reliever for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
04 and 07, 2 World Series championships as a solid reliever for the Boston Red Sox. People forget he won 2 in 92 and 93 with the Blue Jays. 18-year career, 4-time World Series champion.
Wow, that's really good.
Back to hockey for a second. Former Bruins goaltender Tuukka Rask is 37. 15-year career. Part of 3 Stanley Cup teams that went to the Stanley Cup Finals. He did get a ring in 2011 as
that's the only one.
Tim Thomas's backup.
Yeah.
And they did shank it in 13 and 19. But Rask was a great goalie. I know a lot of people thought he was a little soft. 308 career wins in the regular season. Tuukka Rask is 37. And one football active player, Justin Herbert, is 26. We're gonna see what happens under the tutelage of Jim Harbaugh. I know you and I think he's a little overrated, but we're gonna find out next year. So
I do.
Swinging over to entertainment. Blurred Lines. Robin Thicke is 47.
Oh, same age as me.
Yeah, of course, his dad was what was the name of the show?
Yeah.
Growing Pains.
Yes. Good job.
Yes.
Mike Seaver.
Yeah, that was.
No, not Mike. Mike is the son.
Yeah.
That was Kirk Cameron.
Yeah.
So what was his name?
I forgot the dad's name.
Maggie. All right, well, keep moving. I'll think of it.
Remember, that show used to be on with
Alan Thicke.
We were talking last week about Who's the Boss. I said that was like Tuesday night. It was Who's the Boss.
Yep.
It was Growing Pains, and then Moonlighting I mentioned in last week in premieres. Okay, the beautiful, wonderful Sharon Stone is 66. Okay?
Basic Instinct. That's all you're basing that on.
A lot right there. Or a little. Depending on how you look at it, and I was looking. All right.
She's single, by the way. She literally is looking to date. She's on apps.
Let her know.
All
okay?
Right.
And I don't want to tip my hand over here, but all right, at least throw it out there.
I'll tag her so you can tag her.
It's a lot, Steve. Steve's like, I can't wait. I got 3 weeks left.
Steve's like, I can't wait to retire from this job.
John Hamm is 53.
Oh, he looks great.
Mad Men?
Yes, of course.
Okay?
I know John Hamm.
Of course, he was in The Town in 2010 with Affleck. He was the cop in The Town. Jason Seaver. Okay.
All right,
Didn't he pass away on a set? It was too bad. I think it was.
Why do you always end birthdays when someone died?
Not doing any RIPs, okay? And those are my birthdays for March 10th.
Very good. All right, so we're going to talk some local sports. Let's see what we got for audio here.
Providence has a special player, right? And he can impact the game on both ends of the floor. I would say he will get my vote for Player of the Year. I think he has damn near single-handedly carried them to a tournament bid. Right, I definitely think they're a tournament team.
I know you hate Cooley, but he's talking about Carter, and Carter's getting his vote, and he should. He's had to do a lot this season. Let's talk about PC being in the Big East Tournament, which we'll be talking more about on the Rhode Show on Tuesday.
Yeah, I still believe Kim English has done enough. The body of work, around the 500 record in the Big East without your best player, and it turned out Carter turned out to be the best player, but Hopkins, you lost him on January 3rd versus Seton Hall, and you still battled to almost 20 wins. I still love this team, and I think that the Friars, win or lose, have had a wonderful season. They've been relevant. The crowds have been great. It was electric at the Amp the other night, for UConn last night, and I just love this team going forward. They're gonna have to win a couple of games at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna have to win. Stay out of fouls trouble, and we're gonna need those boys like Barron and Castro catch the ball and step up.
Yeah, they need some help. And O'Dur, it's O'Dur, and you heard Cooley in one of the huddles. It's like they got two guys, and it's unfortunate to say that, but it's Carter and Oduro, and there's other guys that have to step up, and it's gonna be tough because now it gets really, really difficult as we get into we're in the teeth of March Madness as the bubbles are bursting everywhere.
Yeah, and you're on vacation. All right, we want to talk about some local high school sports. You checked out some games or what?
I do, yeah. So obviously, the finals are over now. Lincoln, that team that ran the table all year, they got to the postseason. They won a close game over Tolman. They did win the whole thing, so they win the Division II. And Wayne McNamara was named Division II Player of the Year.
Oh, wow.
North Providence won it in Division III. Mm-hmm. And Division I went to Classical. It was pretty much the best team all year. They edged out LaSalle. So those are your winners.
No Hendricken, huh?
No, Hendricken wasn't in there. Now, don't forget. Now you have the Open Tournament, which just started. So now they not do it all over again, but now they merge all together, where everyone gets a chance for one champion.
That's fun. So they didn't do that back in the 1900s.
They've been doing it the last 15 years. They've been doing it. Yeah.
Again, not with us.
No. not when you were in Falcon Land or me.
Steve was 9.
and by the way, just to give the girls a little run, the Pawtucket Co-op girls, they beat heavy favorite Moses Brown for the girls' state title in double overtime.
Oh, that's huge.
Rob Mandarelli, big supporter of the show and a big high school guy. He gives us a little
insight,
little tidbits here and there. And that's pretty much it for local. I do want to swing over to one of our guys from last year in baseball.
Yep.
Our guy Michael Salzillo, who played for LaSalle, was terrific. First team All State out of LaSalle. He is now at Clark University in Massachusetts. He got his first college hit in Florida the other day versus a team in Florida. He got a double in his first college hit.
That's how you do it.
First of many for Michael. He's going to do great things the next 4 years.
That's very incredible, but also kind of not surprising because he was a true talent. I do want to shout out Coach of the Year, D3 at Rhode Island College, Jenna Cosgrove, for the women's basketball team. She's Coach of the Year. So I thought that was huge because we both went to Rhode Island College, and the team has been crushing it this year. Last year, I think they were 27-0. Yeah, 27-0.
Wow.
Yeah. The anchor women were crushing it.
Real quick, I was telling you about John Gazero, one of our loyal listeners. Well, another loyal listener, Delcar, he piggybacked off last week. I love it. He's great with the corrections, okay? So the first thing he said, the show's great per usual. He goes, that was Pablo Reyes on the cover. It wasn't Rafael Devers, so he agreed with me on that.
Okay, good.
And he said, Jess was wrong. Flojo was the one with the nails, not Jackie Joyner-Kersey. And then he also said, a guy that I work with went to Sports and Leisure in Providence. He said the bartender had a Keeping Score hoodie on. That would be one Nathan Travis, a loyal listener.
Nathan Travis!
Coming through for the cause.
Oh, I love that.
All right, so
my girl Ava, my blowout girl Ava, she actually attends Sport and Leisure from time to time, but I don't think she's too cute, so I don't think she's going to wear our sweatshirt out there. But she has been rocking it, representing. Who else was just recently? Mario posted when he was serving. We gotta go see Mario.
Rocking martinis with the swag on.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah. And my final thing is, I want to talk to you about the Dynasty. You ended up getting it on Apple TV.
Yeah, don't ask me how I executed getting Apple.
So you've watched how many?
I'm into I'm past Spygate. I'm into I'm in the middle of it right now. So I'm on episode 5.
What do you think?
It's really good. It's well directed. It's well done.
Do you think they're putting Bill in a bad light? Like they didn't even go to him when they were talking about Aaron Hernandez. They didn't go to him.
I didn't get to Hernandez yet. So so I didn't get that far yet. But it was mostly the early years. The early Brady years. Brady likes to throw a lot of F-bombs when he's interviewed,
too. I love it.
No, I'm big on it. I'm all about it.
Me too.
Michael Holly's pretty good in it. He gets a lot of run. Mm-hmm. You stop bringing the players in as it evolves. I've been really, really pleased with it. It was a good purchase. I don't know how I did it, but I had some help from a good friend of mine.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah. A fun friend of mine.
Yeah, very fun friend.
Have a good time.
Yeah, it's a +1. Because my question is going to be to you, and maybe we'll save the poll for next week, and then Steve will depart us the week after. But I want to know if you think The Dynasty is better than The Last Dance. Like, so I want you to watch more.
All right, I can't answer that right now, but The Last Dance is...
Because I'm excited and I love football more, but The Last Dance to me is just... Like, it hits it better. Maybe because I think Bill's a dink.
But you love Jordan, so that's where it resonates with you.
I love Tom Brady.
I think you love Jordan. Yeah, but you love the Patriots more than you love the Bulls. You love Jordan.
Yeah.
You're a Jordan. So, like, this Patriot dynasty, like, I had goosebumps watching the early ones with Vinatieri because I remember where I was. You start replaying everything in your mind. Where was I with, and of course, unfortunately, where was I when we lost to the Giants? So, like, I have to live that, too. But it's
the two Giants
part
losses,
of life.
I was not at home, and that's why we lost. That's the whole reason why we lost. And then all the rest of the ones we won, I was at home. And then when I went with the Eagles, I started out at Karen Babyface's house. And guess what? They lost because I wasn't at home.
By the way, I know we're at the buzzer here, but you know what, Steve? I just thought of something. He's leaving in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, plus, Oaks Tavern on the 23rd.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking, like, Bronxdale, if we put him in the bathroom, he can't leave. Or if you remember the fight in the bar with Sonny, Colagio's under the table, and he goes, now you to the bikers, now yous can't leave. Now yous can't leave. I know. We have to leave. We have to leave.
We do have to leave. We'll see you on the Rhode Show on Tuesday. This is Keeping Score with Jess and Dean, The Dream.